What is up YouTube and welcome back to another RiftGuides WildRift video. We have the patch notes of patch 6.0, but there's one thing I want to say beforehand. First off, before we read them, there's one thing that's very important. I believe these notes are incomplete because I scanned them for a second, and I saw some Chinese leaks about different things, so I don't believe that these notes will be covering everything that is going to be in 6.0. But nonetheless, let's start with the rundown. Welcome to the first patch of the new year. Prepare to portal into the world of Yordles this patch with new Yordle champions, a new Yordle themed rift, a Yordle themed pass and events, and an overpowering new mode. This patch also includes a durability update which will increase the health and resistances for almost all champions to make your fights last a little longer and allow for more skill expression. Very good idea though, because well, you know WildRift, you just get one turn cooldown. Okay, new champions. Yordles have arrived, and thanks to the wonderful magic of Bandle City, 3 popular Yordle champions are joining the fray this patch. And who says Yordles are mere squirts? They pack some serious punch. Rumble the Mechanized Menace is the first Yordle hero to hit this patch. A young inventor with a temper, the feisty Yordle uses nothing more than his own 2 hands and a heap of scrap to construct a colossal mech suit outfitted with an arsenal of electrified harpoons and incendiary rockets, and Rumble brings even more explosive AoE damage to every team fight. Well, he's basically impossible to ignore. He will go live with the patch on the 9th of January. Gnar, the missing link, is the next champion. Don't be fooled by that fluffy, adorable face. This little guy's got a mean streak. Gnar is a mercurial top laner who can switch between small, nimble, ranged form and a hulking melee beast once his fury is fully completed. Watch out when he goes big. For now, we don't really have a release date yet. Next up, we have Poppy, the Keeper of the Hammer. She has no shortage of valiant champions, but few are as tenacious as Poppy. Bearing the legendary Hammer of Orlon, a weapon twice her size, this resilient top laner charges headlong into battle and dominates duels. Fragile foes, beware. Or beware. Anyway, let's briefly talk about what these champions are. Okay, Rumble can be played in so many positions. He's a top laner, he is a potential mid laner, he's a jungle, and maybe even a center combination in bot lane. Maybe you can even play him as a support champion, so he could be up to a 5 role flex, by the way. Next we have Gnar. Given his champion, he can only realistically, because he's a ranged champion, be a top laner and maybe a mid laner depending on the matchup. Poppy can be a top laner, a jungle, and a support. Maybe with Senna as well. Okay. New features, Ranked Season 16. We are gearing up for Ranked Season 16, which kicks off on January 10th at, well, the time you're seeing, which is, I think, 1 AM my time? I guess so. And is expected to end in April 2025. For more details, keep a lookout for notifications at the Ranked Games portal. You can also look into the game itself. If you see the Wild Pass, usually a ranked season is linked to the Wild Pass plus the mini Wild Pass after, so you know when the season ends when you see that the mini pass comes out, and then the time of the mini pass that's remaining is roughly the time until the ranked season ends. In addition to the release of Season 16 inclusive skin, Glorious, I have no idea how to pronounce that word, so we just say Corquito, Glorious Crown Brom from Season 13 will also be returning to the ranked store. Bandle City Adventure. All of the events in patch 6.0 will be displayed in an interactive Bandle City themed experience that showcases all of the details and prices of current and upcoming events. Be sure to check it all out. Gameplay changes. So now we got the hard part of the patch. Champion endurance changes. We've increased all champions' endurance. Low survivability often made team fighting and skirmishes feel too sudden and chaotic. To address this, we have increased the survivability stats of all champions. You can now expect longer battles with more opportunities to show off your skills. This update aims to improve the game's pace and enhance the fun of tactical decision making during combat. As a part of this endurance update, we've increased base stats of all champions, including base health, health per level, base armor, armor per level, base magic resist, and magic resist per level. Meanwhile, we've reduced the healing, shielding, and durability provided by most items. While increased endurance makes these effects more impactful, we have adjusted them to avoid overly long matches or unkillable opponents. In addition, in addition to our balance reasons, we've made like targeted adjustments for a few champions, runes, and summoner spells to ensure they align with the endurance update in this patch. So here, this part here is, for example, I saw some Chinese leaks about Amumu getting like the Omega Giga buff, like the craziest buff I've ever seen on a champion that's already good. And these, so far, from what I've seen, are not in these notes. Okay, but the next issue is, if we take a look at this here, tactical decision making during combat. If we don't see a change to boots, then these changes here don't do too much. Because boots as they are give you too much power. And the next thing is, the good thing is that what we are changing is sudden impact, because sudden impact was too OP. So yeah. Now we just basically have like a change of all these champions you see. They gain this. Like, I'm not gonna read everything of this. I'm just gonna scroll down slowly because, well, I guess, like, as you see, it's all basically the same. And it's just some things are really insane when you look at the numbers these champions are getting, because it really doesn't make sense that they make these champions so unbelievably tanky. Like, when I scrolled down, I saw what they did to Vi, and if you look at the patch history of Vi, you see that this champion gains so much armor. It's absolutely stunning how they can actually give this champion so much armor. I think she gained like more than 20 armor in totality of all the patches as base armor. It's an absurd amount of armor. So I'm very curious to see if there will be other changes and what changes are coming that are not in these notes. Because you see, these notes are totally bloated by the champion changes. Like, or mega bloated, as you see. Like, it's not even close. And oh, this champion will be got here next. Look at the stats she gains. She gains 6 armor, 30 HP more. Like, this champion is going to be so insane. Yeah, here. Gains another 6 base armor, by the way. 40 base health. More scaling health. And she has a, like, this is just insanity. How much armor some champions are gaining. Like, this is madness. Okay, now we move over to the new items. Forbidden Idol, base stats 900 gold, max health 100, ability haste 10, heal and shield strength heal and shield strength 5%. What does this mean? So let's say you have a 100 shield. What does this do? It gives you 5% extra. What is 5% of 100? That is 5, so you have a 105 shield. Obviously, the bigger the number is of your shield, the bigger this is going to feel in a total number. So you have to keep that one in mind, and obviously most of the support items you will build have this little stat on there, so yeah, it's definitely something to keep in mind. Canic Rukern. Total gold, 250 health, 75 magic resist, 100 base health regen, Spectre's Cowl, Negative Cloak, and 800 gold. After not taking damage for 10 seconds, gain a magic shield that resolves damage equal to 700 to 350, plus 10% max health. Okay, the thing is, number one, the components are, who cares, honestly, because the best component for, like, normally these type of item would be, from Abyssal Mask, would be Catalyst of the Aeons, because you have infinite mana, but the thing is, this item directly competes with Force of Nature, and Force of Nature is an unbelievably broken item. So I don't see the reason why anyone would build this item over Force of Nature unless you can build both, because if I'm not mistaken, they remove Abyssal Mask. Okay. Yordle Snap Trap. 2,500 gold, 350 health, 40 armor, 15 haste, Kindle Gem, Chain West, and 600 gold. Unique passive catcher. After applying crowd control effects that displays the enemy, gain 30% movement speed for 3 seconds, and mark the target reducing their armor and magic resist by 5 to 12 for 5 seconds. If the target dies while they are marked, you and your nearby allies gain 2 to 300 bonus gold in total. The bonus gold can only be earned every 10 seconds. Okay, we have a big problem with this item. This is obviously a support item, but you have to compete with Heartsteel, you have to compete with Warmog, you have to compete with Zeeks. How do you find place to buy this item? How? Because given the base stat buffs, this reduction also doesn't do too much. Unless you're playing with a, let's say like some super cheesy comp. Let's say you play Lethality 80 carry, which has first item Lethality plus boots, and you play Jarvan's support, and you go this item and Q. So you put enemy armor into 0. Maybe that's like one of the like niche scenarios, but I don't see any particular reason to buy this item over these items. Enchantment Dreammaker. 500 gold, gain a blue dream bubble and a purple dream bubble every 8 seconds. Healing or shielding an ally blows both dream bubbles to them, empowering them for 3 seconds. Blue bubbles reduce the incoming damage by 70 to 130, while purple bubble grants 20 to 90 magic damage on hit. Okay, this is a very interesting enchant. This looks like a Nami enchant, no? Like, this looks like a very good enchant for like something like a Nami, where you just want to win. But the question is, do we still have Veil enchant this patch? Because it would have to compete with Veil enchant. And that's like, for Veil, you don't really care about the damage blocked, you care about the spell being avoided, and then yeah, it's just GG. Removed items: Hextech Soulsealer, Stormrazor, Black Cleaver, Zeke's Convergence, Abyssal Mask, Enchantment Revival Enchant, but I already saw, like, there, you see here, they just, you know, they just removed this. Okay, so Zeke's Convergence is, no, it comes back, okay. So I just removed this, and the Abyssal Mask is being removed, I don't really know why. And returning items: Soulsealer, Stormrazor, Black Cleaver, Zeke's Convergence. What do we have here? Stoneplay enchant, gain a shield that absorbs damage equal to 25% of max health. The shield decays over 4 seconds, 60-second cooldown. The shield value increases by 200% health if there are 3 enemies around. Damage dealt is increased. What? Huh? No, this must be wrong because it's damage reduced. It's damage reduced. Anyway, gain a shield that absorbs equal to 28% of max HP. The shield decays over 4 seconds. The shield value increases by 14%. Max health per enemy champions. Capped at 3 enemy champions. Damage dealt is reduced by 4. Yeah, so yeah, it's just a translation issue. It's because this was the same. You dealt less damage with Gargoyle. You didn't do more. It was a little bit tough. So how much is this? Shield value increased by 14%. So we have 42%. So this is nerfed. Okay, that is nice. Gargoyle was too OP. Heartstall, Colossal Consumption. What do we have here? We see a change here. We see more flat damage, less scaling damage, Bloodthirster, less Vamp, Blood Rune King, less Vamp, Death Stun, Mocking Shout, less regeneration. Nerf for ranged users? Why are we nerfing DD for ranged? It was already terrible for ranged champions. Divine Sundra, healing from 7 to 3 to 6 to 2.5. Eclipse, we have a shield nerf and a scaling nerf to Eclipse. We are nerfing Eclipse, that's crazy actually. Sundered Sky is catching a big nerf, because it goes down from 146% to 125 and 5%. That's a big nerf to Sundered Sky, like a really big one. Crown of the Shattered Queen, instead of 50 for 1, we have 40 for 1. Riftmaker, 13 to 11. Warmark Restoration from 5% to 4.5%. Fimbulwinter, the shield goes down from 100 to 90 and 200 to 180, from 5% to 4.5%. This, by the way, is one of the most broken items, really underbuilt. I also forget about it too many times. Mantle of the 12th Hour, maximum health bonus gain from 200 plus 50 bonus health, 50% bonus health to 180, and 45 bonus health. This item's still broken, especially if you buy Heartsteel, because it's health gain and not reduced by anti-healing. Vampiric Scepter sees a nerf from 10% to 8%. Harmonic Echo gets a complete makeover, as we see here. We see the total gold cost is the same, maximum health from 0 to 100, minus 20 AP, plus 10% heal and shield strength. And now instead of healing the bros, you heal one target. And instead of healing 130 plus 10%, it's 150 plus 15%. If the target is below 40%, healing potency is increased to 150%. So the question is, like champions such as Soraka, what happens if they ult on low HP? Because Soraka also has a unique interaction with her ult, because it heals more if they're low, because then it might just be an Omega here. Healing, like, it's only 250. It would be funny if it says by 150%, like another on top, but 250%. So the question is, will we even see this item a lot? Because now it's only a single target heal. Maybe we'll see more, like we'll go away from healing and go more towards damage. This is better for duo boosting though, like duo queuing in general. Staff of Flowing Water, we have 100 health on the item, so every item just now gets health. We lose 20 AP, we gain 10 heal and shield strength. New build path, like Forbidden Idol, is in the build path. Ardent Sensor loses 20 AP, gains 10% increased heal and shield strength. Nothing else changes apart from the build path. Protector's Vow gains health, gains heal and shield strength. This item is getting, this item should not get a buff. Why is this item getting a buff? This item was one of the most niche OP items in the game that if you knew when to build it is insanely OP. It's crazy. Redemption. We have minus 50 health, but heal and shield strength. Nothing else changed. We have Randuin's Omen. They remove the old passive and create a new passive called Countercurrent. When you are critically struck by physical damage, gain 1 stack of Countercurrent. Each stack of Countercurrent grants 5% crit damage reduction up to 4 times. Upon reaching 4 stacks, grants 20% bonus movement speed. What? Okay, if crit 80 carry is still being played, this can be an insane item. Just imagine you're like a Shyvana with Heartsteel, this item, and the enemy is a crit 80 carry and tries to kill you. Like, movement speed. It's insane. This is insane. Hextech Soul Stealer, Wandering Soul, base movement speed stolen from 15 to 10, base ability is stolen from 70 to 50%. This item is still OP, still best in slot for most champions in the game. So this item remains broken. They should remove this one because, well, it's not the Hextech Soul Stealer anymore. Stormraiser, target movement speed reduction 75 to 50, and self movement speed 60 to 45. Item was bad before, just don't build it. It's the only champion that's... if you really want to go that far, it could be Caitlyn and Lucian, and only if they have certain duos, but this item inherently is not a really good item. Zeke's Convergence item was OP, it's getting a nerf, damage from 60 per second plus champion level times 3 to 45 per champion level times 3, movement speed reduction from 35 to 25. Good changes, item was too good. Rune's Sudden Impact. The old one gave you 13 pen in magic and armor pen with a 4-second cooldown. Now 4 seconds after exiting stealth or using a deep blast, teleport or blah 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 blah, you deal bonus damage in true damage on a 10-second cooldown. So this rune just died compared to the old version. Like, this rune is so much worse than before. Grasp of the Undying gets absolutely headshot, by the way. So before we had a scaling, let me actually change this to, I think, this one so it's better highlighted. We had a 3%, let me go one bigger. We had a 3% scaling here, and 20% bonus AD and 10% AP. Now it's only health scaling. But they buffed, this is a buff to tanks. Like, this is a buff to tanks and a nerf to Yasuo and bruisers. Which I like. Because I don't think grass should be, like, picked by bruisers constantly because it scales so well. We are seeing a change to Brutal. Brutal, for example, if you're an AD carry, there's no point of taking Gathering Storm, because up until like 15 minutes, Brutal just does more. And why would you play without a rune? This makes Brutal weaker, but still best in slot. It's still best in slot, better than a Gathering Storm on any auto-attack champion. Arcane Comet. We see a buff to Arcane Comet. We have 30 to 100 with a ×2. Plus 35 plus 20. Now we have 23 to 100 as the 7 damage nerf in early game, ×3 with the numbers of hits, 5, 20. So we see a buff to this rune in the long run because it now, like in the past we had like 1 stack, and now we are up to 3 already. So yeah, this rune is getting more value. These are small buffs, they're not really that influential, but yeah. We get something new called Cleanse. 100-second cooldown, removes disables including spell debuffs affecting your champion and grants immunity to disables for 0.75 seconds. This would mean it can reduce exhaust, it can remove ignite. This is a very powerful spell. Definitely to keep in mind. Exhaust, movement speed reduction from 60% to 35%, range from 500 to 600. This is a nerf to exhaust, which is basically just, nope, you can't kill me, it's over, you can't move, you can't do anything. Especially movement speed change is really good. Summoner spell, Heal. Cooldown 110 to 100, healing from 100 to 110 and 390 to 400. So barely any change. Bonus movement speed, this is the biggest change, 1 second to 2 seconds. AD carry will still not take it. If anything, your support will take it. And yeah, that's it. We see a massive buff to Barrier. 110 450 to 160. This is a big change for specific solo laners which can run Barrier. For example, Yone. I don't think it affects AD carries too much, also the duration goes up from 2 to 2.5. I think AD carries will still prefer Exhaust, or if anything, Cleanse, maybe Ghost, over Barrier. I don't think Barrier will be played on AD carry, but we have champions like Yumi which can take AD carry, which can take Barrier for you. Okay, we have the new Bandle Rift. With the Hextech craze over, it's time for the Rift to don a new look. Magic from Bandle City engulfs the Rift and fills it with a mysterious power, with Hextech Rift-themed mechanics being replaced by Bandle Rift mechanics. An exciting and magical journey awaits you on the Rift. We also designed a bunch of Easter eggs based on the YOLO champion's colors and characteristics, and also memes from the players that will surely bring a smile to your face. As you collect more of them, there will be a surprise waiting for you. So we have new mechanics, which are the enchanted mushrooms. Starting from 1 minute into the game, mushrooms will spawn behind your tower. Picking them up will grant you gold. A mushroom will spawn every 3 seconds, up to 6 mushrooms. Mushrooms will keep spawning throughout the entire game and will only spawn behind the outermost tower that can be attacked. Mushrooms that can spawn behind the outer tower grant 2 gold. Mushrooms that spawn behind the inner tower grant 3 gold, and mushrooms that spawn behind the inhibited tower grant 5 gold. You can destroy the enemy enchanted mushrooms, but you will not gain any gold. Why? What is the point? I don't understand the point of this. I really don't. Is this just for fun? Enchanted buff mechanics. Starting from 7.5 minutes into the game, the newly spawned red Brambleback and Blue Sentinel will evolve into the empowered versions. After being defeated by the jungler, they will drop the Crest of Cinders or Insight respectively, and can be picked up by a teammate to gain the same buff. Now later on, starting from the 12th minute onwards, a newly buffed red Brambleback and blue buff will spawn into the game called the Evolved Red Brambleback and the Evolved Blue Sentinel. After defeating them by any player, or surviving teammates will receive the Crest of Cinders and the Crest of Insight buff. Okay. So the question is, do we nerf the buffs? Are the buffs getting nerfed? Because they have to be nerfed. If everybody gets them, they have to be weaker. Enchanted Gates. Spawn mechanic. From 7.5 to 11.5 minutes into the game, 4 pairs of one-way enchanted gates will spawn. Players can use them to teleport from their team's jungle, or their team's base to their jungle. From 12 minutes into the game to the end of the game, 2 pairs of two-way enchanted gates will spawn. Players can use them to teleport between one of the team's jungle to the other. Using the enchanted gate is a 1.5 second channeling time to use it, and once a pair of the gates is used by any player, both gates will enter a 15-second cooldown. Enchanted gate on cooldown cannot be used by any player. The Enchanted Ensemble. At 5 minutes into the game, a new neutral epic monster, Enchanted Ensemble, will spawn at the original location of the Rift Herald. The enchanted abilities are, upon entering combat, 3 instrument monsters will combine into the Rift Herald. Basic attack, melee attack, get flattened after charging for a brief moment. Rift Herald slams to the ground, dealing physical damage and knocking back targets in the area. After Rift Herald exits combat, it returns to his original location and heals back to full life. If it does not enter combat within 5 minutes, it will leave its combined state and split into the 3 instrument monsters. So what do you get for killing it? The killer will have all their abilities. Oh. All your abilities will be reduced by 75%. The killer can also summon the ensemble, and it will assist them in destroying the enemy turret. What are the abilities of the summoned little goblin thing? After being summoned, Rift Herald will directly head towards the nearest tower. After entering turret range, it will start charging and slam into the turret, dealing damage to it. It doesn't tell us how much. Nice. After slamming into the turret, the Rift Herald will split into 3 instrument monsters, and the instrument monsters will use basic attacks, gaining attack speed each time they attack. Okay. Ah, God bless. Baron Nashor. As T-Hex Mecha will not be in the Bandle Rift, we provide more rewards for defeating Baron Nashor by buffing the minion empowering effect he gives. Baron Nashor is influenced by the magic of Bandle City and gains new abilities. Slaying him also grants the rewards. He spawns for the first time 12 minutes into the game and respawns 3.5 minutes after each time he is slain. Slaying Baron Nashor grants the Hand of Baron buff that boosts attack damage, ability power, armor, magic resist of all allied champions and reduces the recall time. While the Hand of Baron is active, newly spawned allied minion waves will be empowered. Each wave now consists of 2 melee champions. Super minions will be replaced by them as usual, a siege minion and an enchanted trumpet minion. Melee minion, additional damage reduction. Siege minion uses ranged attack and can deal splash damage. Enchanted trumpet minion, upgraded version of caster minions. In addition to using basic ranged attacks, it will also heal allied minions. Super minions gain additional damage reduction. Okay, what do we have here? Baron Gaze. Baron Nashor's target is slowed and deal less damage to him. Guys, you know that Baron Nashor's Gaze in the current game is a 50% damage reduction to all units in the game. And it can be applied to multiple people. So the person who tanks gets the debuff, but if somebody walks in, the old debuff isn't taken away from the guy, just the new debuff is applied to the other guy, and if the other guy starts tanking again, it's, both will have the debuff. So I really hope that Baron's gaze is actually only referring to Baron now, and not like everyone that tanked it for like a brief second. Emits a powerful sound wave, dealing magic damage to nearby enemies and reducing their armor and magic resist. Rains down magical notes, dealing magic damage to enemies nearby where the notes land and turning them into musical instruments for a short period. Rousing Symphony. Plays a frenzied melody and marks an enemy, dealing magic damage to the marked target and nearby enemies multiple times. Rear Spike summons underground wooden spikes to impale enemies behind him, dealing magic damage and stunning them. Okay, Elder Dragon. The chain lightning Elder Dragon emulation. The chain lightning effect of Elder emulation, okay, here we go, was removed by the new Bandle Rift and replaced by a burn effect, which was also buffed to compensate for the durability adjustments made to champions to reduce the length of games. So what do you have here? 450, 3 seconds. Okay, if you hit them, you will burn them for 450 over 3 seconds, and when they get as low as 15%, they will just get killed. Okay, so this Elder buff is better again. Okay, these are a lot of control changes. I will not read them. Unbound Frenzy, like this is all something. This is super casual. Yeah, this is all champion changes for the new mode. I will scroll through it. You can feel free to pause as you wish. But I will not talk about these game mode changes, because they're all like this for fun mode. But if you're into it, if you like it, feel free to just check it out. I guess the same goes for #ARAM. Again, I will just show them here. Feel free, like at any moment, to pause and read carefully through it. I will not go too fast, so you can still just take a good look. What's very interesting though for me is like there's so many changes for other modes than the actual ranked mode. It's a little bit crazy, but yeah, here we are. Like, look, there's so many changes to ARAM, #ARAM, this change, that change. That is a little bit insane, no? I think that's kind of insane. Oh my, it just doesn't end. It just doesn't end. It really just doesn't end. Oh, what do we have? Oh, wait, we have a gifting update. The gifting feature has been upgraded. Personalized greeting gift, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's nothing. Okay. Wow, nothing. Nothing. Okay. That's basically it. Well, I'm not... This patch, like, I think there's something missing. I like that we get a durability update, but I think we need changes to boots. I like that we get the old Baron back, or like at least a changed version. We lose the TX because this thing got buffed so many times it's way too OP. I like that we get the. I think we could have actually kept the Herald, like in the way they changed it. I think that was okay with all the buffs they did. But yeah, overall, let me know what you think about this patch. I think there's not much happening so far apart from like all these durability changes. So yeah, I think the new items are question mark. But yeah, that's it for the video. I don't really have many things to say because I truly think this patch is incomplete. But yeah, we'll see when the game goes actually live with the patch. And yeah, as per usual, have a beautiful time. We'll catch each other on the stream. Maybe I'll be live when this video goes live as well. But yeah, let's see. Take care and have a beautiful day.